Hey everybody, Ryan here. Okay, so today's our first day where we're going to work on a little bit of at-home working out, some functional kind of stuff. We got to figure out ways to create resistance. That's the big thing with working out at home. In order to create resistance at a gym, you got weights. Climbing gym, you got your body, you got the wall, so you can always create resistance that way. But it's a little tougher when you're at home because you don't have a lot of equipment to work with. But you got your body, so you can totally use your body. You can look around the house. You can find common household items. We got a lot of grocery bags and we got a lot of cans of soup, tuna, that kind of stuff. So you fill up a bag that weighs about 10, 12 pounds. We got a table. As weird as it sounds, we can totally use a table to create resistance combined with your body. I'll show you how to do that. We got a chair. Chair is a little bit awkward because the balance, the center of gravity, and the weight of this whole thing is a little bit messed up, but you could use a chair. I got a hamper here that I just emptied out all the clothes and put a bunch of heavy stuff in. Now it weighs 20, 25 pounds, so you can use that. We got a door frame. You can use a door frame. You got to use a door frame in the right way. You can totally use a door frame to create a little bit of resistance, create a little bit of stretch in some of your muscle groups. So we're going to work on the lats. I'm going to show you a little bit about how to use the house, common items around the house. We're going to start simple, and then we're going to progress from there into something a little bit more difficult. Okay, here we go. Okay, everybody, the lats. We're going to focus on the lats. The latissimus dorsi, that's the full scientific name for what it is. It stretches through the back. Peggy, can you come out here so we can talk a little bit about it and I can show everybody what we're trying to get at? Hello, Peggy. Turn around, Peggy, if you could, please. Now, tons of muscles through the back, and they all focus on pulling. So every time your back engages, it yanks back this way. A lot of things in the back are for pulling. A lot of things in the front are for pushing. But we're going to talk about the lats today. Peggy can lift this arm up. So the lats is a big old long muscle group that runs from your arm, runs all the way down your back and spreads out as it goes down. It starts here and it reaches down and opens up, originating through your spine. It's a big old muscle group, and as it comes up in your arm, it thins out and holds on right here. So when your brain says pull, everything from here starts to yank and it brings your arm down in this direction. You pull from up top, a lot of the muscles from here that originate up top are going to do the work. If you pull from down low, a lot of the muscle grouping that's down here is going to pull and help you out down low. If you pull from up here and pull straight back, you're going to miss a lot of the lats. You're going to engage a lot of the traps, the rear delts, and another muscle group called the rhomboids from here. But we're focusing on the lats, and that has a lot to do with reaching up, pulling down, or reaching forward and pulling in, getting everything through the lats here. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Okay, door frame, step one. We're going to talk about using a door frame. Still provides resistance, not as much as a couple other things I'm going to show you, but this could be a good start, a good fundamental kind of baseline. So we're going to use the door frame, and we're going to try to do everything we can to think about pulling from top to bottom. As I was saying, you want to be thinking about pulling low. Anytime you put yourself in a position where you're pulling from high up to high, you're going to miss those lats, you're going to stimulate the rear delts, the traps, and the rhomboids. So any type of movement like this is what we're trying to kind of stay away from. It's not a bad movement, but for what we're doing, trying to stimulate the lats, we don't want to be pulling up high. We want to pull from high down to low. So we're trying to put ourselves in a position where we're thinking about pulling downwards, downwards. As you can see me doing this, you can realize that I could very easily forget about my arm, forget about my lats, and I can just use my legs, and I can just start standing. It's not doing much for our lats. So you got to think back away from the wall, and you got to sit down a little bit into your legs, and you got to pull yourself into the wall. That's what's going to help you stimulate those lats. If you can see the position I'm in, I'm fairly close to the wall, and I'm reaching away from the wall. That stretches my lats out, and then I use that back muscle to pull myself upwards and into the wall, and I'm always thinking about pulling down. You can change the position of your hand. You can start a little bit low, and you're pulling from about mid-range to low. That'll get the bottom of my lats. You can try to reach a little bit high and pull from high down to low. That'll get up here through the top of my lats. So you can play around with different grips. You can go low, you can go a little bit mid, you can go a little bit higher. We're climbers, so we don't need to pull from that same spot every time. So you can reach up, down, in, out. You can change your grip. You can go from here. You can even reach over the top and go from here and pull in. Focusing on that lat muscle, using the legs just a little bit, not standing up so much, trying to think about that muscle in the back. Angles are very important too. I want you guys to
understand how this frame kind of works on the door. It's very, very strong. This is not very strong. Don't stay over here and yank on this. You gotta stay back from the door and pull in this direction. This is only held in by a couple finishing nails. So standing over here and yanking this way, bad idea. Don't do it, you could hurt yourself. This up here is not a hangboard. Don't be thinking that this is a hangboard. Don't be thinking you're gonna grab on here and start doing pull-ups here for your lats. Bad idea. I don't know if you can see, but when I pull on this a little bit, it flexes a little bit. Again, this is only held in by a couple finishing nails. So this is a no-no. Don't be pulling on this. Don't be pulling on this. You can grab here, you can sit back, you can pull yourself into the wall, and that'll get your lats going a little bit. That's step one. Okay, we're moving on to step two. Still trying to work those lats. This is a pulling movement. We're gonna be lying on our back. We're gonna be using some weights to create a little bit of resistance. Now this one might feel kind of strange. It almost feels like you're pushing, but if you think about the way the body moves and how that lat kind of inserts right here, pulls downwards. If your arm is straight, it's still a pulling movement to here. I'm lying on my back, I'm pulling up to here. So this one's obviously gonna do higher on the lats. Not gonna so much get that lower part, it's gonna do more at the top of the lats. As I said before, I got a can of soup that can provide a little bit of resistance. I filled up a laundry bin full of heavy stuff. That's about 20-25 pounds, that's some resistance. Could use a chair, could use whatever you got lying around. Lucky for me, I got a kid lying around. Say hi, Annabelle. Hi. I'm gonna show you how to do it with a kid. But again, as I said, you can do it with any of these things. You just gotta figure out the right balance points and how to hold it nice and stable. So I'm gonna lie down in my position and I'm gonna ask Annabelle if you could come over here. I'm gonna lie nice and flat. Annabelle, can you come stay in here? Now we practiced this before because I've used her to do this before. She knows the drill. I'm gonna grab the inside of her leg. I'm gonna grab her body right over here. She's gonna lie straight across and I'm gonna slowly lower her as low as I can to the ground. And at this point, I'm gonna use my lats. I'm gonna reach back up and pull those lats to bring her back up over top of me. The lats are stretching out, stretching out, stretching out. And at this point, I engage those lats and I bring her right back up over top. So that's something that provides a little bit more resistance. It's a little bit tougher, but that helps engage that top part of those lats. That's step two. Okay, moving on to step three. We're trying to create as much resistance as we can on this one. We're gonna use the table. We're gonna try to think as stable as we can with this table to create a lot of resistance. Now we don't have a chin-up bar or pull-up bar, so we can't be hanging in the air and pull our whole body, but we can use the table to create as much resistance as we can, and we can play with the distance of our feet further or closer to make it a little bit harder or easier. Keeping in mind, we want to think about the direction that we're pulling. So we don't want to be thinking pulling high to high. If we're feeling a little bit high, we always got to think about rowing low. We want to be thinking about pulling down. That's how we're going to engage those lats as much as possible. So I'm going to get underneath this table. I'm going to show you how you can move your feet in and out to make it a little bit harder or easier. And I'm going to show you some good angles that you can use to kind of pull onto this table to create some space between your body and the ground, thus engaging those lats. So when I pop underneath the table, it's up to me to decide exactly how I want to create that resistance. If I want to really focus on my lats, I should think about rowing low. So I want to reach up close to the legs, because that's the spot that's going to be kind of the most stable. For me, I'm going to get my feet well away from me, because this is something that I can manage. If you don't have as much strength, maybe you got to pull your feet in a little bit closer, so it's a little bit easier. But for me, I'm going to put my feet way out, and I'm going to row nice and low. So I'm going to be here with my feet way out, and I'm going to think about from this position, rowing down. Always thinking about rowing down. Nice, slow back down. Really, really strong on the positive part of the movement, really controlled on the negative part of the movement. Now, if I put my hands in a different position and I allow myself to pull up to up, it's going to engage more of my delts, more of my traps. That's something that you can do alternately on a different day or on a different part of your workout. But if you're focusing on the lats, you want to stay nice and low, okay? You want to think about not pulling with your elbows right in line with your shoulders. You want to think about keeping your elbows down and in, so you're rowing a little bit low, okay? Make it easier on myself. I can put my feet here, and that makes it not quite as difficult. We want to be safe, so don't think about pulling here, pulling this way, because that caused the table to tip up. Don't grab in the middle of the table and pull down, because that's probably the weakest point of the table. Stay close to the legs, row nice and low, thinking about the length of those lats. That's step 3. Okay, everybody, that ends our first session focusing on the lats. We started with something very basic, just using that door frame, moving into something a little bit more difficult where we're lying on the ground, ending with the table where you're creating a lot of resistance, just using your body weight and pulling yourself up. A lot of people would ask, how many reps, how many sets, how should I set this up? It's really up to you. That's something that's kind of personal that you need to experiment with a little bit. General strength training principles would say the lower end of reps, 6 to 8, is more power-based. The higher end of reps, 15 to 20, is more endurance-based. Somewhere in between that, 10 to 12 reps is more strength-based. We can't be so specific. We don't have all the equipment that we need, so you got to kind of come up with something that works for you. If you can get underneath the table and you can only row yourself up 6 or 8 times, there you go, you're doing a power-based workout. If you're a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and you can do that 15, 20, 30 times, then we're getting into more endurance. How much rest should you take in between each set? Again, that's up to you. Shorter rest time is more endurance-based. If you want to take a longer rest time and you allow your central nervous system to really recover, you're getting into more power-based stuff. So how many reps, how many sets? That's up to you. At least 2 sets will be good. If you can get up to 4 or 5 sets, that's going to pump those muscles a little bit more. Next time we come out, Thursday, we'll see you again on Thursday. We're going to focus a little bit more on pushing movements. So this is a lot of pulling stuff. We'll do a little bit for the chest, maybe a little bit for the triceps in our next exercise group. That'll be on Thursday, so we can kind of come up with a bit of a workout. You're going to do a little bit of pulling, you do a little bit of pushing, you can put those together, and you can work that protagonist and antagonist muscle group. Any ideas that you have on your own, please comment. A lot of people do different things to kind of work out at home, so if you have any ideas that you think might work for other people, please share it below. Hopefully we can generate a bit of a discussion of what people decide to do for themselves working out at home, and hopefully I gave you a couple good ideas today. It's just something to get started with. Peggy, thanks for coming out and helping out. Hey, Annabelle, coming over here. Thanks for helping out. Thanks for being my little model. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.